In today's blog, we're going to have a look at why invest in a new property as opposed to an older property. Well, there's no definite right or wrong answer, and it really depends on an investor's skill set, time and money. Now, if you don't ever see yourself taking 6 months off work, putting on a hard hat, fluoro vest, then becoming a DIY renovator is probably not for you. However, if you're the type of person who wants a minimum of fuss and bother and just want everything done for you, and you want a reliable cash flow, then a new property will probably tick a lot of your boxes. So here's some of the reasons why a lot of investors go towards buying a new property as opposed to old. So the first one is the quality of construction. Now, providing of course you use a reputable builder, you're going to be getting the latest in design and building technology. And not only just that, but you're also going to be getting the blueprints, like the X-ray of the house construction, the plumbing drawings, electrical drawings, the engineering drawings. Now all of these things could come in very, very handy years down the track. That's the first thing. Secondly, structural guarantees and warranties. Now, unlike an old property where you really don't know about the bones of the property, with a new property there's far more accountability today. Engineering guarantees, they warrant the structural integrity for up to 40 years, extended defect warranty periods, and that keeps the builder on his toes, and of course the appliances that also come with extended consumer warranties. Again, all these things that you don't really pick up on an old property. Now, all this means if any problems down the line, it all can be sheeted back to the person or the company or the supplier responsible. And even if they are no longer around, you can always make a claim on their professional insurance and policies. Then there's specifications. Now, we all know we can go to Bunnings and virtually fit out and build a house. You can buy the bath, the sink, the kitchen, you name it. Bunnings will sell it. They sell it all. Now, as you also know, is that when you buy stuff from Bunnings, you're buying things on a very limited budget. Basically the cheapest money you can buy, imported from across the world from low-cost providers. But the question is that really what you want in an investment property, a long-term investment property? It doesn't really make sense to cut any corners at this point. So just be careful here though, that if you're buying a new property from somebody, perhaps somebody that's just been building a spec property, that could have also been built on the cheap, and they've only bought it just to flick it on, and you really don't get good visibility of what you're buying. So a little caveat there. Now, if you're building a house from scratch, you can get involved and specify the quality, the brands that are going to be used. So you can do all that, and that alone gives you some peace of mind knowing that you've got the good stuff going in there. The fourth area of consideration is lower maintenance costs. Now, the older the property, clearly the more it's going to cost you to run. Now, this also comes back to my previous point that if a property was built on the street many years ago, and there's a lot of things that are going to need repair or replacement, no different really from buying an older second-hand car. You don't really know what you're getting. Hot water systems, faulty plumbing, leaking roofs, all those things. They're all very expensive to fix. Now, with a new property, however, it's a little bit buying a new car. There's minimal maintenance. That means you can pretty well do accurate cash flow budgets. And for many people, that's really important, wanting to know exactly what they need to put into the property. With an older property, that's a bit of an unknown. With a brand new property, you can pretty accurately forecast for years ahead what the maintenance and repairs will be. Another factor is popularity. A new modern home is particularly popular with tenants. It simply looks great, there's more demand for it, particularly for houses that meet the energy efficiency ratings, which means to tenants that they're going to spend less money on their power bills and their water bills, and that's also very attractive to them today. This all means that you're going to get a higher and more consistent rent. And property managers, they just love new properties for all these reasons. It's a minimum of fuss and bother from them. Tax considerations are also an important part. And one of the great things about investing in a new property is their very generous tax benefits. And that can really add to your cash flow. You can depreciate all the fixtures and fittings and also claim a building allowance. Those two alone can put more money back in your pocket. And simply, the more tax that you pay, the more tax that you can save when you're investing in a new property. And that all means that your weekly contribution to the property is absolutely minimised, because you're getting, not only are you getting your rent, but you're also getting big tax savings from the government each month. So that's a big plus too. So in summary, a new property means that you don't have to lift a finger. It's all done for you. It's cheaper to run, much easier to manage, and gets a higher rent. Plus it's backed up with warranties and guarantees, so it gives you peace of mind and better tax deductions. So buying an old property versus a new property is just one of many important considerations when investing in real estate. The location, the timing of the market, the price point to be in the market, the supply, the demand. There are a number of key issues which will all have an impact on the overall effect of your investment. So before you go out and invest in any property, we strongly recommend, why not come and have a chat to us? Let's have a look at your situation, and we can work with you to help you find the right property for under the right circumstances to suit your individual circumstances. And if you'd like more information on the pros and the cons of investing in an old versus a new property, then just grab the download.